What's up, everybody? So as you know, or some of you know, I made a post. I know this probably don't reach everybody, but all the peaking footage from New Mexico was lost. This is about a week and a half, 2 weeks post-contest. I'm likely going to do another one for you guys just because I really want to get a peaking video out. I thought it was full of amazing content for you all. It had what I did with water, sodium, etc. I even recorded every fucking meal, which I never do. I don't do like day in the life, day of eating type of shit. But because it was peaking, I really wanted you guys to see that stuff. So I'll likely do another one at some point in the future. But today I'm going to be training push with Tristyn. You know, the more Tristyn's out here, and hopefully he moves out here, we'll probably be doing a lot of shit together. Training partners, we got to film a bunch with Nick Walker yesterday. That was fun. But this is going to be an RP Hypertrophy app video. Of course it's push. It just somehow happens to be push every fucking time that I record this. But this is my next mesocycle post-contest. What I basically did was a half-week deload, since peak week is technically a deload, but you accumulate a lot of fatigue by competing and by the dehydration process. So you have to keep that in mind. So even though you didn't train hard technically that week of peak week, you still need to probably at least take a half-week deload after the contest is over, replete substrates, not be dehydrated. You're on a bunch of gear and you're on all kinds of shit. Your joints are dry. So rushing right into a mesocycle is not intelligent. So this is technically like week one-ish of that new mesocycle. Cool thing is that Tristyn's kind of played out that way too. He's also doing the same thing as me, easing into his next meso. So this will be like a 4-to-1 paradigm into the Atlanta Pro. Hopefully, you know, I'm not going to put a stamp on that, but that's the show that I'm aiming for. So you're going to see how that looks. Probably have a lot of intensity techniques into this, supersets at the end of the session. And me and Trish are just going to get to the pushing. I'll show you my phone, show you what I'm doing, so you can see the app specifically and how the progression is going to look. So we're going to get right to it. So exercise one is going to be a dumbbell press fly. So I call it a flat fly press. Last week I used 60 and I got 15, so it went up in reps for me this week. 60 for 15, 14 last week, so the reps accumulated up. We're going to get right into this, warm up and do it. This is how the new dark mode looks. I'm really enjoying it. I even titled this Atlanta Pro. So again, not putting a stamp on it, but that's what it's titled. This was a movement I think really popularized by Dennis James back in the day. It's really, you're just doing a fly motion, and instead of keeping the arms out here, you're kind of pressing in at the top. It's more of a heavier dumbbell fly. It's something I really like to do while massing. I kind of just threw it in here because I've done a lot of fly variations over the last couple mesocycles that were becoming quite stale for me, getting less pumps from it and things of that nature. The flat fly press last week felt really fucking good. I had to really warm up quite a bit, so we're gonna go ahead and get into the warming up process. And then I'll be cueing Tristyn quite a bit because I don't think he's done this exercise before on how to do this, but it's exactly how it sounds. Dumbbell flat fly press. You're doing a fly motion, and at the top it comes in, your elbows are allowed to drift in a little more than normal, and you just press up. So we're gonna see what that looks like right now. So the same cues with pushing that chest to the ceiling as if you're gonna fly. And then instead of keeping them out here and just kind of being here, you're able to push a little more. So fly, press. So on these you can go a little heavier, which is why you really gotta control the fuck out of the eccentric. Anything that's super eccentrically damaging, straight leg deadlifts, any sort of fly motion, things like that, it's especially important to utilize eccentric control. I know we talk about that all the time anyway, but just really try to keep that shit in mind when you're thinking of things like squatting and straight legs, flying, anything else where you feel a really harsh eccentric phase where you're in a super disadvantageous position, because that's where the tears and injuries like that occur. So really fucking, even if you gotta count out loud or count in your head to like 4 seconds on that eccentric, yeah, it's gonna be super damaging. You might get less reps, but that's okay. You just modulate the load a little bit that way. So Tristyn asked about the arch. Like I said, it's just exactly like a regular fly. You're gonna set it the same, just like the presses. Retract the press scapula, really push the chest to the ceiling, and try to keep that arch and keep the chest up as you're pressing. So don't let it cave in, don't roll your shoulders forward. All tension on the pecs. For these, I'm a big fan of using that kind of twisting motion, coming down, flying like a normal fly. Don't take the dumbbells and like press them like this. Really awkward on the elbows, really awkward on the forearms. Put your joints in that advantageous position here, so like your wrist and elbow kind of stacked. Instead of being here, this would be fucking awkward. So here, and then as you press, feel free to twist them in at the top. That puts you into that pushing motion, so the flat fly press. So that's probably a pretty good cue. About midway through that range of motion, I'm just taking my wrist and I'm going like this. You all notice on Tristyn's last set, this is his first time doing this. He's really trying to find what's comfortable for him. So that thing I just said about how I twisted a little bit, as it gets heavier, maybe he'll start doing that. But I think he might feel a little more comfortable with just that neutral position, which is absolutely fine. That's neutral dumbbell press is a really fucking awesome tricep and chest builder. I actually have a lot of my female clients do like super high incline neutral dumbbell grip press, so that it hits the front delts and their triceps more, because obviously a lot of them don't need huge fucking pecs. So that flat fly press motion like this, huge, crazy eccentric, and then you're incorporating quite a bit of front delt tricep, but absolutely okay way to do it. The way I do it is absolutely fine. Whatever feels best for you, and it all goes down to SFR, stimulus to fatigue ratio, which we talk about all the time. Whatever feels, you get the most stimulus with the least amount of fatigue, hell yeah, good stuff. I did 40. I'm probably gonna potentiate with the 60 since that's what's on the sheet, 60 for 16, 15, whatever it was. I'll pull it out, not my dick, my phone, and we'll look at it. Tristyn, let's go 40s. I'm gonna have you straighten your arms just a tad. Huge fly stretch. And then if you need to, right away you can start bending your elbows to press. Mechanically odd exercise, but if you get it down, it's pretty damn good. Huge chest.
A little bit more straight?
Yep, a little more. Big stretch. Really push that chest to the ceiling. Beautiful, Tristyn. Big stretch. Rip those pecs apart. Yes, sir. There it is. Straighter. Yeah, now press. There you go. Straight. Huge stretch. Press. There it is. Yeah, Tristyn. Big stretch, straight arms. Come on now. Oh yeah. If you do these, and you want to do them multiple mesocycles in a row, like let's say you have dumbbell flies in a mesocycle, and you're moving into like, let's say mass 3, or like you're dieting for a show, you can keep this in, and you can turn it into like a mechanical drop set of some sorts, where you're doing mostly flies. And then as it gets hard and you want to really push metabolites, you can start doing that flat fly press with the same weight. So it just turns kind of like when you do pull-ups, if you want to do mechanical drop set, you can do like chest. And once that gets really hard, you're like 2 in the tank, you go to your chin, and then you go to like forehead. Like we've done similar things like that before. So it's a really easy way to do a mechanical drop set. All right, set 1, 16. Holy shit, that was hard. I believe I got 14. But showing you what my target was, 16 is the target. I think I did 14. We'll run it back. I don't fucking know. No, I'm gonna hit log set. My chest healed just on time. That's important for biofeedback for later on, what it's gonna do. I'm gonna do 60s again, and then I'll come and I'll log the set. It's telling me I need 15. My assumption is I have a decrease in performance, but what I'm gonna do is add a down set. So I'm gonna do these 60s again. I might only get 12 for all I fucking know. I'm gonna repeat until the end of the meso. I'm gonna duplicate this exercise. It's basically gonna have me do one down set. What I'm gonna do, it's probably 45. I said 50, but I think just because I'm missing pretty substantial reps, 45 will get me more in that 15 to 20 range for my down sets. And basically any time that you put a down set, it's for one or two reasons. One, you fell out of the rep range you were trying to get. Two, you want to do more volume on that same exercise, but you want the rep range to shift up just a tad to push more metabolites, get a good pump. So like I really connect well in that 15 to 20 range on flies generally. So I'm gonna go for that. I might only get 15 with the 45s, who knows? Especially with like how depleted my glycogen levels are. But those are the two reasons you would use down sets. If I'm in that 10 to 15 range and I, let's say, get 9 on my second set, and I'm like, oh, I gotta shift back up to that 10 to 15 range, let's drop the load by 10-15%. That's a really good reason to do it. And again, the secondary reason, what we're doing now, I'm just gonna add a down set because my reps are dropping off substantially, and I'm gonna push myself into that 15 to 20 range. So that down set's gonna be a really good idea, especially after missing 3 reps and then 2 reps. Good news is, I beat last week's performance by going up a set with more reps, even though that weight was a little less. As this mesocycle goes on, and I continue to build diet fatigue off of what was supposed to be the end of contest prep already, stuff like that might turn into a lot more intensity techniques. For today, I beat it. Next week, it might look something like 2 down sets. The week after that, it might look something like I can't even do the fucking 60s because I'm so fatigued. I use less load or potentially switch to like a machine. if you're using the app, rate things as accurately as possible. If you run into this scenario, because this is happening to me because of contest prep and being like 16 plus weeks into a diet, having low glycogen. Sometimes though, it happens just because we overestimate. Just rate everything accurately and it'll tell you what to do from there. If you're in like week 1, you overestimate, week 2, you can't beat your performance. What I just showed you where you add down sets and things like that, absolutely fine. Try to adhere to the weekly proximity to failure. So 2 in the tank, 3 in the tank, whatever it is. And just rate everything as accurately as possible, because that's future data for the app to just pre-program everything for you. Like, you can't beat 60s? Okay, next time you do dumbbell flat fly press, the app programs 50 and you get 18 reps instead of 13, let's say. Oh well, no big deal. You did 50 pounds, you got 18 reps, now the app will progress for you. So just be accurate in your biofeedback. I'm modifying quite a bit of shit just so more advanced trainees can see how I do this close to contests. But that's the cool thing, like, we're gonna chat about this stuff on a Q&A. Tristyn, you might actually be there when we do this. Early app access users get to hop onto a webinar with me and Mike and Nick Shaw, the CEO, and we're gonna answer these types of questions in depth. So you're getting them here on my YouTube for free, and if you sign up for the beta list or you got that early access, early bird access, you're also gonna hop on that webinar, which is gonna be pretty fucking cool. There might be like 1,000 plus people on there. So we're gonna move on to Smith bench. I'm doing a wide grip Smith high incline. Tristyn's probably doing similar because we're programming around the same stuff. But we're gonna use a better Smith machine this time than this Arsenal one. We're gonna go to the corner now and see what it looks like. Now, this is by no means like a Valium endorsement, but like making sad moms happy since like the 80s or 70s. I mean, come on guys. Moving on to Smith Incline, as I said, beautiful Smith machine, new benches that are wider, good for people like Tristyn, who's like as big as a brick shit house. 2 sets for me. On the app it says 2 sets. I believe 255 is programmed. I got 14 on my dumbbell flat fly. I'm gonna log that set. It's gonna ask me about some stuff. How's my joint pain? I had no joint pain, it felt really fucking good. Now we're moving on to Smith machine press, and I have an incline wide. So 255 on my first set. We're gonna work up slowly to that. It won't be a crazy long warm up like you see on the dumbbell flies because our chest is already super warm, super pumped. So I might go 135, 225, 255 and go into it. I'm a big fan of really high clavicle placement for the incline press. So you'll see that I'm gonna scoot it forward quite a bit. I've demonstrated this on the app before, or maybe I'll show you guys on like an example on mine. So it says 11 to 9 at 160. He's gonna jump to 165. The app is gonna auto correct for that, and it's gonna do 10.98 instead, which is pretty fucking cool. I really like that. So that way, if you don't have like 2.5s at your gym or some shit like that, the app knows what to do based on the either jump and load, jump and sets, etc. So I can show you what it looks like. I've done it on a YouTube channel, on the video before, but he's gonna just go to 165 because we don't wanna search for the 2.5s. And I think you'll probably go 10, I assume, once you put it in. Feel free to potentiate or go right into it. It's up to you. We're nice and warm. Oh yeah, Tristyn, last one. Big chest to the ceiling. Fucking yeah, man, that was great. That was great.
Probably a little too close to failure, but
I don't know. I think you had a couple more in you.
I'm able to push your reps in it.
Usually week 2 is about when you start seeing those, it's called technique acquisition, especially with strength-based stuff. Week 2 of a training block, or depending on how much you do it. Like back in the day, the Bulgarians did like full body every fucking day. So they got really good at squatting by like day 5 because you're doing similar movements twice a week. But like week 2, you start to really notice those neurological adaptations. So technique acquisition is one of those. Strength is another one. So you'll get really fucking strong on this too. Yeah. Shit, now quick. Basically what the app's gonna show is like a missed target. It's gonna say my chest performance decrease. After I add in a down set, my volume will technically be going up, so it might actually be okay to keep going. What I'm gonna do here is log that as 12. Clearly I went way too fucking ham, guys. I'm gonna remove a set. And then I'm gonna add down sets. So I'm gonna go down to like fucking 215 or something. I'm gonna add 2 down sets. So now you're gonna see, miss the hell out of my top sets. So I went and I added down sets. That'll keep me on track. Right now it's pretty hard to get much over like 15 reps just because glycogen's so low, which is why, so like on a Smith machine incline when I'm massing, I've done like 315 for 16, 17 reps. The load is a big factor here. So I'm gonna try to push as many metabolites as I can in these next like 3 weeks. Just get fucking crazy pumps. Maybe even switch out some of these exercises because they are really fucking heavy compound for where I'm at in prep, quote unquote prep, since I'm extending prep. But this is like the most amount of modifications that I'll ever have to make for the app because I'm just super fucking diet fatigued. I've been dieting for way too long. I haven't gotten to take a maintenance because shows are just so fucking close together. But at least you guys can see how I'm gonna modify it, or how a coach or your coach could modify it, since we'll have a coaching portal integrated at some point as you get deeper into a prep. Still gonna aim for that 10 to 15 range, I think. 215 is a lot lighter. So just depending on glycogen and how fast I shit out on this, I should be able to make it into that rep range. And then next week, it's gonna be even harder. So I'm gonna try to leave a couple in the tank just so next week I have room to push forward. It's really cool that you guys get to see kind of like extreme modifications here because the app works with everything. Massing. It can even work with maintaining in mini cuts if you know how the algorithm works and you know how to keep the sets stagnant, or if your coach is just like, hey, if it adds sets, don't increase. Remove those added sets. If you know that maintenance volumes are roughly like 7 sets to 10 sets per body part per week, you just cap it yourself artificially or manually. So that's an easy way to do maintenance phases even on the app. For now, we're gonna keep dieting, keep dying, keep trying to push a bunch of metabolites into my titties. Great technique. Yep. Come on. Hell yeah. Periodization and programming wise, usually I'm a lot more intelligent with this shit, but like trying to put out a bunch of content for you guys, training with like Nick, trying to link up with Tristyn. I'm doing a really traditional mesocycle of like heavy compound exercise first, 7 to 10 range, etc. Generally in my contest preps, my last couple mesocycles of the show are like sequestering a shitload of metabolites. So that's just like getting a big pump, which likely has an independent response for hypertrophy, which is why I say first couple mesocycles of prep, traditional top sets, down sets, heavy compounds for most stuff, really utilize those heavier compound exercises. And then as you get deep into prep, you can start adding in intensity techniques. Start adding in things where you're using less rest periods, things like that. So I'm currently resting pretty normal. As I move through this mesocycle, especially once like me and Nick Walker get our training split figured out, me and Tristyn know when we're training together, I'll be doing more intensity technique based stuff because right now is the perfect time to just try to get a crazy good pump. And I stand by that. Like, people are way too concerned about quote unquote strength loss in a prep. When you get that deep into a prep, you've been training with high volumes for a long time, you have to resensitize at some point. But if you're in a weird situation like me where you have back-to-back shows, 20 plus weeks of high volume, you don't get to resensitize or do a maintenance period to make sure that you're resensitizing to high volumes during that time period. So adding in those intensity techniques, sequestering shitloads of metabolites, the reason I always say that is because it's a good idea. You really, really want to make sure that you're utilizing everything you can to maintain muscle during a prep. First couple mesocycles, sure, worry about your quote unquote strength, your weight on the bar, which is not fucking strength. Strength is the ability to produce force. You're gonna fucking lose that as you diet down, as you have less glycogen, as your fiber types start to shift down on the spectrum of type 1 to type 2. Those are just physiological adaptations that occur. So utilizing intensity techniques, straight like drop sets, giant sets, all that kind of shit is very, very, very smart in a prep. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this. And then we'll have an intensity technique at the end. It'll be a fun time. That sucks. This shit is rough. I'm gonna log this. You can ask me about my pump. No pain. Amazing pump, honestly. It's just really hard. And that pushed my fucking limits. I should probably rate too much just because of what's going on. So you guys would want to do that. Again, prep, all the shit I explained. I'm just gonna push my limits so that way it still increases my sets. Next, we're gonna do a lying JM skulls here on the Smith machine. And I didn't do it last week, but me and Tristyn, again, we're linking up. So I'm gonna try to have that in the 15 to 20 range, which means I'll be going pretty light, probably 95 pounds or so. Tristyn's gonna do it in more of a traditional, probably 10 to 15 range. He's massing. So especially when you're massing, you have a shitload of food. Like Tristyn's basically at 500 grams of carbs, up from 0. So he's gonna be doing more traditional, progressing in the manner in which the app has you do. I'm gonna superset with inverted skulls. So I'm gonna make a note on there where it says superset inverted skulls. I'm gonna do my JMs, and then I'm gonna stand up and just do the inverted skulls on this. Tristyn was telling me he felt his lab work. He was like, yeah, I feel like shit right now because he got his blood drawn. Right into it.
Probably.
This superset with a deficit push-up. One of my faves. Good. Oh yeah. Got him in. Yep. Great stretch. Great stretch. I love it, all the way to the neck. Those are fucking fantastic. Yep. Come on, Tristyn. Oh my God. We're 11 and 7. So I'm gonna make a note. I have to show you guys. I'm basically making a note on my sheet that says, and I'm only doing it this way because last time I did this, I showed you guys how to include both exercises. So I can show you guys, there's two ways you can do this. Add the second exercise and just say there's a superset, or add exercise notes and put super set, and this is my acronym, inverted skull. Save. I'm gonna pin it, and I'm gonna put 145. I'm just gonna put 18, and in my note I can add where the split in the reps was. So on that first one it was 11 and 7, and then the second one we'll see. In the note I'm just gonna put that. So that's one way you can do it. The other way is to literally just put the actual exercise, remove the added sets, because it'll either add sets to your inverted skulls and not to your skull crushers, or vice versa. So you just got to make sure that the sets match if you add both exercises in. Eventually, we're gonna have a drop down of intensity techniques. It's coming very soon. That way you don't gotta do shit like this. For now, that's how we do it. Yeah, almost keep the stomach, yeah, exactly, stomach up. There it is. Keep stretching that triceps and pecs. Almost press up and back. Yeah, you want your stomach high. Ass and stomach up and back. Better. Yeah, Tristyn, good. Up and back. Beautiful. Fuck yeah. Yep. Keep it up, keep it up. Stomach and butt up. Up and back, come on. Yes, sir, Tristyn. The closer your feet are to the implement, the easier it is. You notice mine are pretty close. Also, the higher this is, I usually just turn around and do it on the Smith. The higher that is, the easier it is. The lower it is to the ground, the harder it's gonna be. If you put your head behind it, so if you can do this, even harder. I'm doing a variation that I'm trying to get, 5 to 10. So my feet are pretty close, and it's not excessively low, but pretty low. Fucking titties hurt. Fuck yeah, Tristyn. Push. Good. Come on. Last one, Tristyn. Up and back. Perfect rep, perfect rep. Good shit. All right, now I need you to yell at me and tell me I'm doing a good job.
You got this. Motivation, moral support. Perfect technique.
Fuck. That's gonna cap off the chest. Cap the delts off. Yeah, guys. So that was a good little YouTube video there, I think, for the RP training app. First video out in a bit. Like I said, apologies for the loss of footage in New Mexico, but with Tristyn's help, coming to the rescue, filming the session for me. Thank you guys, I appreciate it. We're gonna get you all a fucking video, you know? Tristyn, I get a lot of really good sessions in with you, man. You fucking train hard. It's impressive. It's very impressive. Not a lot of people impress me. I'm used to training with, I'm gonna call Regan out. You ready for this? Regan Grimes, if you're listening, I know you are, because somebody's gonna show you this. Train harder. When I come put you through legs, don't expect it to be easy, okay? Don't expect it to be any easier than what Milos is putting you through, because I'm gonna make you maintain technique. It's gonna be hard, and I'm not gonna let you stop at 6 in the fucking tank, Regan. See this man? Be more like this man. Tristyn, I appreciate you, my man. Thank you for helping me out, you and your brother. Seriously, I appreciate it a lot. Let's get naked. Yeah? All right.